I learned what it meant that when you serve, you really understand what it means to protect.
We're stronger than they think. We can handle it. We may break down and cry, but we can handle it.
But we have to keep in mind that we're paving a way for the benefits and the better life of soldiers that may come behind us.
In 1775, during the Revolutionary War, women played a pivotal role. Today, women remain an essential asset to our military. Every woman that has ever served in the armed forces has volunteered to do so. Today, more women serve than at any other time in our history. Female soldiers have earned America's gratitude and respect for their contribution to the military and to our nation. Some say it was a calling or even a sense of duty. Others say it was an opportunity to enhance or enrich their lives. Their reasons for enlisting is a decision veterans remember well.
I always wanted to join the military. When I was in high school in the 80s, Norton Air Force Base was still open, and I hung around a lot of the kids that her parents were in the military, and they used to talk all the time, and I really didn't want to go to college, but I just didn't want to stay at home and do anything, and they were telling me that going into the military was the best thing to do. And I just thought being in the military would be different, and I could save up and go to college when I was ready. I went transportation, loading and offloading of passengers and cargo.
Both my parents were in the Army. They were not active while I can remember, but I always looked up to my mom and knew I was going to follow in her footsteps. My extreme long-distance, lifelong goal that I would always strive for but never dreamed of reaching was to work for an agency. I lucked out, and while I was in the military, I received a position at NSA. So one of the very few people that received my ultimate dream job at age 18.
I'm fourth generation military. My great-grandfather served in World War I. My grandfather served in World War II. And my dad served in Vietnam, and I was Desert Storm era. I actually thought I was going to be in personnel, but someone met me and they liked my voice for some reason. They said, "Had you ever thought about being a broadcaster?" So they set up an audition for me and sent the audition to the Department of Defense School of Journalism, and then we received information back that I had been accepted to the School of Journalism.
I was a stay-at-home mom who thought it'd be fun to support the military and do my duty and all of that. When my daughter was in kindergarten, I joined the reserve, and I felt, like I was serving my country, and pretty much a weekend warrior. It was great. And then 9/11 hit, and it really changed things. Luckily, my children were older, and I was sent to combat camera school. Then I got called up to go to Kuwait, and also bounced in a lot of different training events all around.
A friend of mine said, I'm going to be gone for last period in school. And I said, well, why aren't you going to be there? And she said, because I'm going to go down to the federal building and enlist. And I said, I'm going with you. That's how I decided. But I knew I had to do something. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do out of high school. And I knew that the military would pay, hopefully help me with my education. So that's why I went to the Navy. I picked the Navy because I liked the uniform. I was only 18. I wasn't, I'm like, that's my favorite. Because I could have picked any of them. And I scored high enough on the test, I could have picked any. But I picked dental technician because I would be able to wear little white uniforms. I mean, I was just a kid.
The Army just kind of got my interest. I was just interested in the Army. And they said, you're going to be fixing weapons. And I said, okay, let's go.
All of my uncles were in the military, and I was wanting to join as well. And I had a little fight about it because I was the first female that was going to join in our family. It was more men join the military, not women. And if we joined the military, we're more secretaries and nurses than anything. at that time. I was a corpsman. So I worked at Silas B. Hayes Army Hospital at Fort Ord. I've worked all over the hospital.